Grand Rising, living through your vision. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. January. This is the first Monday, January 6th, 2020. First Monday of the year. How's everyone? I hope everyone is having a beautiful, beautiful day. I am always having a beautiful day, waking up in gratitude, thanking the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, the higher source, for being here and for me having this experience. I'm totally grateful and in gratitude for that. Very thankful. And today is just simply a beautiful day. It is currently 71 degrees, although it feels hotter in my car, but 71 degrees outside. It's gorgeous, and it feels really good. It feels really good. So I said, you know what? Something came to mind, and I said, I'm just going to really take an assessment of who I am, what I am, why I am. That's the key for me to really understand certain things about my existence. And I had said something this morning, like just a random thought. And it's almost like I had to check my ego. Like I had to check my ego and say, no, that's not the reason why. It's not because of that, it's because of this. And I found myself checking myself. And it's not really that it's odd, but this is the first time that it kind of stood out to me that I'm checking myself. I'm really now checking myself because the growth within me really want to manifest in the truth and the goodness of who I am, or who I believe myself to be internally, spiritually. And I found myself checking my ego, checking myself, right? And I think that, we do have to kind of become reacclimated, reintroduced, to our spiritual self. And in that process, right, you do check yourself. You do check yourself because now you're starting to see that the patterns that you used to think that would get you into more conflict, confrontation, or put you in a bad vibe or put you in a bad energy, you're not checking it and say, no, it's not necessary. It's not even necessary for you to create that thought. And once you start becoming reacquainted and reacclimated to your spiritual self, you'll find that in that process that you're going to start to check yourself. And I say that because, and it's not to beat ourselves up, but we have been groomed in a society that has a negative-based sense of thinking. And with everything, like how, we speak to each other, the way we talk, the way we gossip, and a lot of things. And for those that this doesn't apply to, then that's amazing, that's beautiful. But, for the majority of us, in my opinion, we are inundated with a way to live. And then we have to pick, choose, and refuse what is more apt for us to be able to deal with and do and stuff like that. But regardless of what we pick, choose, and refuse, a lot of it comes from a negative base of thinking that we perceive to be okay, or not say positive, but it's okay because it's perpetuated the most, it's done the most, so we kind of giving it an okay value to be able to do it, or exercise it, or what have you. But when you really go down to where this really comes from, it's a negative based sense of thinking. So when you've been taught that for 30 years, 40 years, or however old you are, when you are trying to get back to the truth of who you are, your true self, it's it's time. It takes time, and you got to be reintroduced, reacclimated to the truth of who you are, and you have to shut down the things that you've been taught that it was okay to this is the okay to respond this way, or this is okay to react this way. Because even if you don't respond derogatory, meaning that you're not using profanity and different things of that nature, but still, how are you responding? Are you responding with a positive base sense of understanding or a negative base sense of understanding? And a lot of what is perpetuated in this culture, in this society, is unfortunately negatively based. So we have to kind of get ourselves out of that. So to become reacquainted with your energy, the truth of who you are, and the reacclimated to the energy of the truth of who you are, you have to check your ego. You check your ego because your ego is not a bad thing. It's just there because it wants the physical self to survive. But the ego can work hand in hand, with your spiritual self, if the ego understands that, okay, we're not trying to kill you. We just need for you to work with us, to work with us in respect of the being that this soul is, because we understand that you still have to have this physical experience, and we understand why you exist, but we need for you to work with us and not feel like threatened that you have to respond in this way to for self-preservation. So therefore, when you want to become, when that greater part of you want to become back to the truth of who you are, become reacquainted to the truth of who you are, then you're going to check your ego and be like, relax, chill. It's not necessary. We could definitely handle this in a much different energy, not something that comes second nature of how we used to respond, because we realize that that's not necessary. So I just want everybody to really if you really truly want to get back to the authenticity of who you are, you first got to understand what has cultivated you and the experiences that has cultivated you, and how in your previous times how you used to respond, because I think that's important. You have to understand that aspect of you so that you can realize and know what it is that you need to change in order for the truth of you to immerse and emerge, become reacquainted. Because at one particular point in time, you were as a child growing up, we end up being cultivated into what our parents has learned, and then it's a generational thing. So it's not to say that it's your fault, but once you become aware, then it becomes your responsibility. So that's what I wanted to say, like in the reintroducing of yourself to your higher self, the truth of who you are, and wanting to be that person, in the forefront, right? Instead of it being behind the scenes. You have to check your ego, and you have to start looking at things like, okay, is this a negative based sense of understanding of how I'm about to respond, or is it positive? And 9 times out of 10, what I've come to learn, through my experiences, is that sometimes not responding is a positive way of dealing with it, because then you understand that whatever it is that's triggering that individual, or making that individual feel the way that they feel, it's something that has to do a lot within them. It has a lot to do with them. And sometimes it's something that you realize that that's something that they have to deal with. And if you don't really know what to say or how to deal with it, sometimes it's best not to say anything at all. So you'll find yourself really not reacting, more so than reacting. But if you do decide to react, and you start to become more aligned with the truth of who you are, in goodness and in positive energy, your positive response would be to someone and say, yes, I understand that that's how you feel about me, and I'm sorry that you feel that way about me. I really am. And it's not to say that you're sorry out of pity, but you're sorry because it has to be heavy for them to carry that energy about someone. Because the thing of it is, I'm learning that people are going to be and do whatever it is that they want to do, and you're independent from that. um and if you don't allow it to affect you negatively, it doesn't have an opportunity to affect you negatively. You have to give it permission to affect you negatively. So if a lot of times, if people's intentions are to hurt you or to affect you, but you stop it at the gate, because you know who you are internally, spiritually, vibrationally, it won't penetrate the value of who you are, because you realize that internal pain that is being emitted externally. um, you still have to give it permission to allow it to infiltrate your space, your mind. And that's the thing. So you start to say, you look at it, and because you understand it, not from a projectile type sense of understanding, but you're starting to understand the more deeper aspect of where, you know, that energy is coming from. And then you don't respond. Or you find a way to respond in kind, in recognizing that there's something within them that is really that they're dealing with, because even if it's a person, even if they don't want to deal with you or whatever, that's fine too. I'm just learning that I am who I am, and I can pick, choose, and refuse of what I allow to be in my presence, or what I allow to affect me. And if a person is negative to me, doesn't mean that I have to respond negatively back to them. And when that does happen, I'm unearthing, I'm uncovering, things that needs to be healed. If I allow that to happen, it doesn't make me less human, but it's reconstructing what I used to be and who I am within myself. So I have to bring myself to that part, and I have to go through things in order to get there. But I'm conscious of what I want to do to get there. So it's okay. The reintroduction of self back to you know who you are, the truth of who you are, after being cultivated from a society that has a negative base sense of thinking in terms of how we project things out and what we emit. It can impose a challenge if you say that it is a challenge, but you will find that when you truly want to go back to your oneness of who you are, you will check your ego, and you'll look at people and their situations and their issues and a lot differently, because you don't want it to infiltrate your space. You don't want it to make you lose ground or lose progress of what it is that you're trying to do for yourself, in the essence of you reintroducing yourself back to your true self. And your true self will let you know, because now you're giving it permission to be in the forefront, and it'll be like, that's not necessary. You didn't have to say that. It's not because of that. And you'll find yourself like, wow, I'm really changing from these societal views and these societal point of views. And it's a beautiful experience. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, because it made me this morning, like, I was like, I checked myself royally. And I said, no, that's not the reason why. It's not that. It is the reason why they're the way that they are. It doesn't have really anything to do with you particularly. You're just someone that is there to show them themselves, within you. You understand? That's your role, is to reflect something within themselves and be that trigger that they need to heal from. That's your only role. Now, how they perceive it, they may perceive you as a problem. They may perceive you as this, may perceive you as that. But when you evolve, you realize that you are there to assist that person. But you don't have to take on what it is that they need to heal from. You don't have to take that on to make it your own problem, to make it your issue, because you are there to be of service to them. And that's where I start to like say, okay, this is making more sense than not. So I just wanted to put that out there and share that with you guys. I'm here at work. I'm here at work. But I just wanted to put that out there and share that with you guys. It's almost 12 o'clock. It's 11:58 to be exact on Monday, January the 6th, the first Monday of the year. And I had this real epiphany and this real reflection of who I am that I wanted to share with you guys. And I think it's important for us to really truly know, when you start to ask yourself, who am I, what am I, why am I, and you start asking yourself these questions, then these answers start to appear. You are here to be of service to other people. You don't have to allow what they're going through to affect you or infiltrate you, because you are there to bring out something within themselves that needs to be healed or transmuted. But you don't have to take on that negative persona, allow that energy to transcend into your aura. You have complete control over that. And with your ego mind, you just tell your ego mind, chill. You know what I'm saying? You know, I understand that you want to survive and you want to be a part of this whole process, but you got to work with me, not against me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because I'm not trying to kill you, but I am trying to coexist with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it can happen. So, you know, these is what I'm learning. These are the who, what, when, where's, or whys, and the true intelligence of who I am starting to immerse, because now I'm asking myself the right questions, which is promoting me to do the right things for myself, for my evolution. You know, it's not really about nothing else in that respect of my growth in terms of what I become aware of for myself. So with that being said, peace and love, everybody. I'm not here to take up a lot of your time, but I just did want to share that epiphany, that random thought that I had within myself with you guys. And I hope it makes sense to somebody, you know, because it's important of us to really truly get back to the truth of who we are, our real true natural state, in terms of allowing our spiritual self to be the forefront, and all else kind of somewhat falls underneath that. And I think it's important for us to kind of understand that, because it would change your life tremendously. You will look at people so differently. All right, so with that being said, peace and love, everybody. Have a wonderful, beautiful Monday, and I shall commence to talking with you guys later. Oh, I'm always doing this and forgetting to do this, but if you like this video, you know, like it. If you like the content of what I'm producing with this, with my channel, please subscribe and share this journey with me. And also place a comment, you know, because like I say all the time, each one teach one, and we are here to help be of service to each other. And share this video if you know someone that could be of benefit to the information that I'm also putting out as well. All right, so peace and love, everybody, and I shall commence to talk with you guys later. All right, bye.